What is up, wrestling fans? Welcome to episode number 395 of the Smark Out Moment Smack Talk podcast, Hot Tags of the Week, where we will be breaking down some of the current events, the rumors, the news, the gossip, and everything else that went down in the world of professional wrestling over the past few days. Who is we? I'm your host, as always, Tony Mango, and joining me, as always, is Robert DeFelice.
Happy birthday, Tony, and
Thank you
I'm
very much.
excited for these hot tags, as these are hot.
They are also tags.
Yes.
So if you don't know the scoop by now, everybody, we are going to be talking about a bunch of different things here, and we invite you to do the same in the comments below. So if you are on YouTube, drop a comment below. While you're doing that, hit that subscribe button and ring that little bell for notifications. Or if you're on the Anchor or Spotify or iTunes or whatever the case may be on all the different audio-only platforms that we have, you can't really leave a comment there, but you should head on over to the YouTube and do all that kind of stuff, or go to smarkoutmoment.com and leave a comment, because we want to know what you have to say about these things. So we got a bunch of different topics here, about 7 or 8 of them, and we're going to break down some happy things, some sad things, some just kind of weird things, you know, a lot of different things here. But let's start things off with the thing that I've got for my thumbnail here, which is that 2 more NXT superstars have changed their names. We went through a big round of about like 7 or 8 of these, I think, recently, and 2 more have happened. They are Dan Matha is now Dorian Mak. I'm assuming it's pronounced Nak. It might be like Mak. I don't know for sure. And Brennan Williams, who I don't remember ever actually wrestling on NXT yet.
He's not ever on TV. He's a big hit at the house shows.
Yeah.
Big hit on Up Up Down Down. Big hit on social media, but for whatever reason has never been on television.
Maybe they're just waiting. And maybe now that he's got a new name, he is going to be Dio Maddin. Maybe that's when they're going to actually pull the trigger, because we have this breakout tournament that's going on right now, and I'm not going to spoil exactly what that's going on with, but neither of these two are in there, although that means that they are at least thinking of bringing some new blood into the mix. And Dan Matha has been sitting on the sidelines for a long enough time now that I'm kind of assuming that Dorian Mak and what's-his-face, Robert Strauss and kind of blanking on his name.
The Outliers, Riddick Moss.
Riddick Moss. I was going to say Rico something, and I'm like, that's not anywhere close.
There we go.
Riddick Moss. They are a tag team on the live event tours, so you could use more tag teams. Like, it's never going to be a bad thing for that. Dio Maddin, I don't know where they would really put him into the mix, but now that he has a name like that, then I'm assuming that we're going to see him popping up pretty soon. And I've never seen him compete. Never actually seen Dan Matha compete either, that I can remember. But if he and Brennan Williams, if the 2 of them are like ready to go, these names are pretty good. I like them.
So Williams is famous for like sitting. Like he does this thing where he just dramatically sits down.
Like Aleister Black?
Kind of, but like less flippy. It's more like dramatized, you know? And the crowd does holy sit chants, and it's great. I'm excited to see him actually get on TV.
Is he a babyface?
I think so.
Because Mac's definitely a heel.
It's hard to tell with the crowd reactions, you know? But I think he's a babyface. I like the idea of the breakout tournament, too. I know we'll probably talk about that at some point during previews, but I really like the idea of, hey, here's a way to make NXT a completely new program. It's fresh, it's exciting, and all these new stars are now here.
Introduces you to a lot of different people in one shot. Makes it to where each one of them seems like they're somewhat noteworthy because they're the ones that were chosen for it. I like it too. And we haven't seen any of the matches yet, so like
it's almost like NXT does their job.
Yeah, it's like they understand what their job and purpose is, and then they go ahead and do it and execute it well and allow people to have good matches and set up good storylines for them.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's like the developmental people are teaching the people on the main roster what to do. But it's interesting that they have these name changes, and maybe over the next week we're going to find a couple more, because there are people that still don't have different names, and that's actually like some side note kind of thing I wanted to bring up. But like, if you look at the roster right now, we got some people that still have their original names, and we got some people that could probably use a little bit of a little switch up or something like that. Is there anybody on the Performance Center side that you think should be changing their name anytime soon?
I can't think of too many that are there. Like, I know they changed DJZ, and they actually brought him up too, didn't they?
Yeah, he's in the breakout tournament.
Is there a way I can like look at the Performance Center roster?
There's the Wikipedia page, and there's, technically speaking, the Performance Center website. Although that's a little bit like hard to kind of follow. I tend to go through the Wikipedia page the most, and with a quick glance on that, you can see which people have new names. Like, technically speaking, Babatunde, his real name is Babatunde. So I don't know if they would go with that whole thing, like change your name to something else so that way we can own it, or like it's not quite the same. It's like Brendan Vink, who is just Brendan Vink.
Did they change Seth Bernoni? Chiquita Banana?
Whatever. No, he hasn't been changed yet.
They need to change Chiquita Banana.
Yeah.
Bugenhagen got changed, right?
Yeah, Rick Boogs.
What a name. Gabriel Ely. Are the Ely brothers still there?
No, the Elys are done.
But
Robert Strauss could definitely get a different name. I think.
Well, I think they're gonna have him keep that because he was very strategic about switching over to that while doing the Titan games and shortly before he like actually got signed.
Yeah, but then they made Court Moore and all the other kind of names with Stokely Hathaway, you know?
That's true. But Strauss has like that seal of approval from The Rock.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, because of the relationship from the Titan games.
I'm assuming that Matt Lee and Jeff Parker, that they get new names. And I'm assuming that Jordan, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Amagbin, something like that, he'll get a new name. And Nick Camarado will. I don't think they're going to keep that on Nick. But a couple other people could be.
Nick Camarado is actually already working the house shows, and people are very impressed. But because of you, all I can think of is Meathead.
Rachel Evers, she's another one. Lacey Lane, maybe they'll keep that. Actually, all the women might keep their names. At this point, like, Reina Gonzalez is already a different name. Chelsea Green might get a different name, actually. That might be one.
So I'm on the Performance Center website, right? And under the lifestyle section, it says education, advanced educational support, including the opportunity to pursue a college education, learn new languages, life skills training, professional development, and public speaking. I didn't know that WWE was, like, helping people get through college now.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. And look, it's Tanara Conchi. She's not pretty.
Well, quick plug for that, everybody. If you are not aware, the round 2 brackets are up for the Sexiest WWE Superstars tournament. I posted them during Monday Night Raw, so go ahead and vote while you can. I'm not sure when we're going to do the podcast, and I'm not sure when I'm going to shut off the polls. I'm kind of assuming that I'll shut off the polls like Sunday or Monday, Tuesday, something like that, but that's happening right now. So round 2 is up. Go vote for that while you can. And check out all the other stuff that's happening on smark.moment.com. Let's move on to another thing here. The ESPYs are going to have a WWE award for the first time. It's going to be the best WWE moment of the year.
Yeah, and then all the big old sports fans will get their panties in a bunch.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, why are you going to say that Roman Reigns coming back is whatever? And the 4 nominees are Roman Reigns and Ronda Rousey winning the title, Becky Lynch winning the title, and Kofi Kingston winning the title, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically just like triumphant wins.
And Roman Reigns.
Well, it's a triumphant win to a certain extent. Which one do you think that you would be voting for? I'd go for the Kofi one.
I'd vote for Roman because it's real. It wasn't fabricated in a fucking writer's room. You know, like, I love Becky. That'd probably be my second choice. But the Roman thing was genuine, and it made people feel strong emotions.
Not a bad choice. I don't think that the Ronda one should win, at the very least.
I agree.
Another quick plug that I'll throw out here. If you want to check out any of our merchandise, we've got some stuff on TeePublic and Redbubble for Smark at Moment, Fanboys Anonymous, and for A Mango Tees. And if you got some spare change and you want to hit up the Patreon, go ahead and do that, because we got one for Fanboys and we got one for Smark Out Moment as well. So just quick little plug for that. Keep that in mind, everybody. Let's go to... This one's really one of the saddest ones. It's that Nikki Bella has specified in the past that she is no longer wrestling, and everybody kind of assumed that it was just kind of BS because it's like, I retired, but I'm not really going to retire. And yeah. But now she's clarified that one of the reasons why is because she has a cyst on her brain.
What? Came out of nowhere.
Yeah. And it was on, Jimmy Fallon, I think?
Yeah, like just on Jimmy Fallon. Like, oh, hey, when do you guys get back in the ring? We missed the Bella Twins. Yeah, I have a cyst on my brain.
And then Jimmy Fallon's like, ha 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 ha. No, he obviously didn't do that. But
he's like, oh, that's great. So tell me more about this birdie bee. Like, what? That's really sad. And specifically, I've said this in the past, whether you like it or not, the Bella Twins, specifically Nicole, is the biggest female superstar that company has ever produced. Everybody knows the Bella Twins. Everybody. And if they could have had a healthy Nikki Bella, would have added tremendous star power to the women's division right now. Are they the best wrestlers? Not by a long shot. But they were big players, and they, even though I hate admitting it, played a big part in getting more eyes on women's wrestling, which then played a big part in making the women's revolution more meaningful. Because I think it's Bianca Belair, and that's one of the NXT girls, specifically said they got into NXT through watching Total Divas. Like, that's how they started saying, hey, this looks fun, I want to do this. So you can't, even though you don't want to credit that, you can't discredit it.
You can't diminish their contributions, because they aren't going to be wrestling like a Shawn Michaels, but that doesn't mean that everybody has to do that, because fucking Hulk Hogan didn't.
Damn right he didn't.
Steve Austin didn't.
Yeah, he didn't do that either.
Yeah. So that's really a shame to hear. Obviously, you got to hope that maybe that's something that can get cleared up, because even if she doesn't actually get back into the ring, it can't be good for just regular stuff,
It's so fucking... a cyst on your brain, man. And people think wrestling is bullshit. Like, that's what pisses me off. When you hear stories like that, I just get sad.
Yeah. Especially because she's so young. But hopefully things will turn out. They'll be able to figure something out, maybe. I don't know.
However, they do have, like every other side project in the world.
Yeah. Wine company, a clothing company, real estate company, license.
Real estate license, shimmering body glitter company. That's not a joke. I've actually purchased that for a friend. They have shimmering body glitter. Shampoos. They're good.
They're gonna open up a fucking lemonade stand.
By the time Brian retires, they're gonna start the Bella Twins recycling plant.
Yeah, like that Lil Lisa slurry shit from the Simpsons.
It'll be like the Birdie Bee greenhouse or something. Like,
Birdie Bee recycling or something. Yeah, I don't know. They had plenty of stuff going on, so that's at least good. It's instead of being the type of people that like a lot of other wrestlers do, where all they have is wrestling, and then they just kind of keep working their bodies to the bone. So that's good, but hopefully she can turn around and get healthier on that kind of side of things. Let's see. What else we got? We got 1, 2, 3 more things here, actually. We're doing this pretty quick, then, which that's pretty good.
We did last night's pretty quick, just saying.
What was last night?
It was Stomping Ground.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Of course. Long day. Let's talk about the 365, Alexa Bliss. We're already talking about somewhat depressing things, so let's talk about that.
You know what? This pissed me off because Alexa Bliss, you're doing a storyline with her right now that's like, oh, she's Nikki, don't listen to her, she's a bitch, don't trust her, and this story makes her come off as so sympathetic.
It's where that weird line is crossed where
I hate that line.
If you watch that in a kayfabe sense, she's a babyface now. If you watch that as just a performer, then you just ignore it. Different story.
I hate that line because they don't even know where that line starts and ends.
No, because at some point somebody's probably going to be like, I saw that 365 and I whatever. And then it's like, so you saw the 365 that proved that this was fake. Okay, like, it is an interesting watch, though. I think that people should watch it. It's a good backstory of a lot of things that she hadn't really given a whole lot of information about. It's more clarification on her injury as well, which everybody that kept saying, like, oh, she's injured, and then other people would be like, no, she's not. But yeah, she was. So sometimes you should maybe believe these dirt sheet things because people get them correct,
Why is she not a babyface?
God knows. They really should turn her babyface.
And by the way, she's the hottest woman in the company, and that's another plug for the Sexiest Superstars tournament. Go vote.
She is up against Mickie James right now, so keep that in mind, everybody. Yeah, I like this. I like 365. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, it's better than Chronicle because I think the Chronicle that really turned me off was the Ambrose one, where they couldn't decide what the hell they were doing with him, which, fast forward, things make more sense now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that kind of blurred the line in a different way.
Go watch the Alexa thing, guys. It was good.
Yeah. 2 more hot tags before we do that. Let's just throw out another quick plug for fanboysanonymous.com. If you want to know what I have to say about Toy Story 4, I was going to do a review point. Decided to write it out. Just got a random itch to write instead of talk. And wrote up that article. Did a making the grade, which I haven't done in a while. And kind of chimed out. This is not a fucking word. Kind of chimed in on what my thoughts were about the movie. A little too long, didn't read at the beginning of it if you don't really want to read all that much and stuff, but that's something to check out. fanboysanonymous.com. Plenty of other things that are happening over there on the geek culture, movie review, TV stuff, comic books, sometimes video games, whatever the case may be, whatever strikes my fancy at the moment. So hit that up, follow those Facebook and Twitter accounts, the Patreon, the YouTube, subscribe to that, so on and so on and so forth.
Where
blah, blah, blah,
where does Forky land for you in the pantheon of Pixar characters?
Forky's up there. Forky's pretty good.
Forky's an interesting character.
This is something I didn't mention on the thing itself, but it was funny. I'm we're going into the movie, and I'm thinking that I'm already going to like Forky, whatever. And for anybody who doesn't know, Forky thinks that he's a spork, so he's like, well, I'm not a toy. I'm used for chili and stuff like that. But he just keeps saying I'm trash and And Caroline's just like, I understand. And that's right after she's like, you're such a Woody. And then I'm like, Woody's trying to take care of him. And I'm like, yeah, I get this now. This makes sense and stuff. But there's good points, there's bad points, Check out the review if you're interested in that side of things. Another quick plug while we're at it. Not too sure if we're doing this week or when we are doing it this week, but if you have not sent in your mailbag questions and you're interested in our thoughts on a couple of things that are outside of pro wrestling, because it doesn't have to be wrestling related questions, then send in those mailbag questions as soon as you can. I know that Frankie, for instance, might ask some questions about Big Brother. That's happening tomorrow night. I'm going to try to check that out, maybe kind of factor that in somewhere on Fanboys if I get the time and if I really kind of feel like it. But I might do something like that. Either way, mailbag is coming up at some point soon. So, hey, keep that in mind. So, we know a little bit more about Fyter Fest coming up this week. We are going to do the predictions post at some point. We're going to do the post show after this event, all the other kind of stuff that goes along with that. We're learning a little bit more about Fight for the Fallen, and we're also learning a little bit more about All Out. And one of the things that we learned this week about All Out is that that's where they're going to unveil the Women's Championship. Now, they specifically said unveil the championship, not award the championship. So I'm kind of working under the assumption, and I'm just kind of going off of nothing here. All Out is going to be a tag team match that's going to have a first round bye of the tag team titles tournament. And they've said that the tag team titles tournament is supposed to be something that's going to be a featured thing from the television show.
Yes.
I'm wondering if their plan is to do, All Out is the end of August. Maybe another one of their normal, bigger type of pay-per-views in December. And that's when they're going to crown a women's champion.
I think it is December as well.
definitely because of the November climate. It's being like rushed. You'd figure you got the Saudi Arabia show, NXT TakeOver, possibly Starrcade, Survivor Series. Meanwhile, December just has TLC. So I'm thinking that maybe like a December 10th type of range or something like that. I don't know if that's like a Saturday. Let me double check that real quick. But like, that seems to make sense to me. December 14th, December 7th, something like that. Either way, they're going to unveil the championship. So, at some point beyond All Out is when they're going to crown a champion.
I think the tag team and the women's tournament will be the focal point of the TV. I don't know if it's going to be a tournament, but I think that'll definitely be the focal point of TV. With the World Championship already being established, hopefully on Chris Jericho at All Out. And then you can build towards, I don't know if they're going to call it Starrcade, but I'm going to call it Starrcade.
They can't call it Starrcade.
Oh, they can't? Fuck that.
No, WWE has Starrcade. Remember, they've done that the past 2 years.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So I'm assuming WWE is going to do that, so that way they can keep that license. And they're going to just run another one of those house show things. But maybe they'll call it Starrcade, but make it with 2 R's and 2 C's or something stupid like that.
So then let's just call it
Cade Fest.
Showdown. Not super, not duper, but just Showdown. And
if they went with Duper Star Showdown or something like that.
It's the Duper Showdown. And that's where you'll get like Chris Jericho fights Cody Rhodes for the world title, some kind of women's match, and the Young Bucks versus blank for the tag team titles. I think that'd be a pretty good way to end the year.
Yeah, I think so. And I'm sure at some point, once we get past that point, they're going to start giving out some kind of an announcement, but we don't even know what the title's going to look like yet. And
I think it'll be gorgeous. Like
Brandy has said that there's something unique about it.
I don't know.
And that makes me scared.
Yeah, I don't like the word unique.
No, when I hear that something is unique, I start thinking that they're going to have some kind of weird shape to it, or it's going to be like, instead of one side plate, it's going to be 2 of them, or something, or not one side plate, one center plate, like have 2 center plates instead, or something weird, like, I don't know. It could be unique in a great way, but a lot of times when people say something's unique or different, it's just ugly.
Maybe it'll be unique in the sense that it'll look like a Moolah title where it's just tiny. Like an old school title.
I hope not.
You don't like the old school?
Nah.
They're literally just belts.
Not a fan of that at all. I still think that the women's, the Knockouts Championship is one of the better ones.
The old one from TNA?
The one with the little crown on it and everything?
Yeah. They had really good titles for a while.
And then they had some really bad ones, too. Those blue ones that look like stickers? Oof.
They were stickers.
Oh, that's why then.
They were stickers.
How do you have a sticker? God,
because they had just re-gotten all the belts done to AGFW, and when that relationship went through, they just slapped back stickers on them.
God, this company. Oof. Let's see. Did I miss any plugs yet? I don't remember. I'm losing track of this.
No, I think you got all the plugs.
Follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Smark Moment.
There you
go.
that
one. Yeah, so the last one to talk about here that I've got written down is that Lars Sullivan is going to be out for at least 6 to 9 months, according to certain reports, because he has undergone surgery for a knee injury that he suffered, which, not the best timing.
Yeah, shitty. I'm going to be honest, I don't think he lasts. I think they just can him.
I say cut bait.
Yep.
I know that, like, some people in WWE are going to say something along the lines of, like, well, if we lose him, then AEW is going to pick him up. I don't think that AEW would want to pick him up.
Yeah, right now he's
damaged goods.
Yeah.
Not only is he somebody that's been injured, he's been injured before. He's got a bad reputation for his past, which, again, I think that there's always, like, a certain forgiveness that should be put out there. I think that people can change, and you need to kind of keep that in mind, but it's still a stigma that's carrying around him. I don't think he's really all that impressive to be like this standout, amazing performer that you could bypass some of that stuff either. it's either going to go one or two ways, I think. It's either going to be that he hangs around for a while, and when he eventually returns, they're going to just job him out, make him look like a joke, and kind of use him that way until he gets released. Or absence is going to make the heart grow fonder. He's going to come back in like however many months, and then they're going to make him like a giant big push again next year.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd say cut bait, but that's just me.
Yeah. We'll find out about that in a couple months at the very least. He seems to have been like already out of the surgery and all that, which that's not the hard part. The hard part's like the recovery part, but we've heard before people that'll be 6 to 9 months or 2 years or whatever, and they've come back in a hell of a lot shorter time frame. So we might see him in 4.
I don't think he's John Cena.
He might not be. It might be an easier thing than what they anticipated, though. Like, if you give them the ballpark of 6 to 9 months, I'm assuming that there's a possibility he comes back in 4. But there's also a possibility he comes back in a year and a half.
That's true.
Or not at all.
I'm maybe going for not at all.
Well, there's the hot tags.
Well, before we finish that real quick, before we do, I just want to get your opinion on this no wrestling during commercial break thing.
Not a fan. I think it's blatantly obvious that if you book a match like that they're going to go to a commercial break at a certain point. I don't like all these, like, well, now this is going to be 2 out of 3 falls, and this is going to be an elimination match, because then that's going to just beat that into the ground. What are you thinking about it?
I like the idea of not having any wrestling during commercial breaks. I misunderstood when I first read the story. I thought that meant the matches were going to be quicker. It just literally means that they're not going to have any action during the commercial break, which is awkward for the audience that's there because the people are out and in the ring and ready to see a match, but they're waiting to come back to TV. So I don't know.
Kind of makes you wonder why they don't just rearrange certain things.
Yeah, like
if you know that there's going to be a commercial break at like 8:43, have the match end before 8:43 and then go to commercial. Or if you know that you're going to come back from a commercial in that kind of capacity, maybe have their entrances go on during the commercials. You know what I mean? Like, you can do entrances. That's fine.
It kind of made me want a taped episode of Raw so they could like edit it properly to not have to worry about it.
We'll have to see how long this lasts. I don't think it does.
I don't think it lasts longer than the 3rd hour aesthetics to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, I don't think it's lasting maybe into July even. Like, it could be like, this could be the last episode of it.
Why don't they just do the thing where there's the picture-in-picture commercial? Why is that not just every commercial break now?
Yeah, it's weird because it's USA. So you can't even say it's on a different network.
Just do the picture-in-picture.
It must just be that SmackDown doesn't get as much traffic and that they don't want to pay for that, you know?
Mm.
Like, the advertisers must be like, no, I want full ads. Whereas on Tuesdays, it's not as big of a night. And then it must just be like, well, we're not going to pay for that half ad thing. Like, you know?
Well,
we're not going to half ads that.
Jesus Christ. The final thing I want to talk to you about is the Seth Rollins stuff, where he went off on Twitter and is like, WWE is the best wrestling on the planet right now. Did you see that Cruiserweight triple threat? It's amazing. I defy you to find anybody alive doing this better than me or us. And then Will Ospreay said, I'm alive. To which Seth Rollins said, oh, sorry, little guy, we have a better version of you, and his name is Ricochet, and he just won his title. And this was perfect to me, but the internet got worked so quickly. Twitter was a mess of people going, how dare Seth Rollins say this? Does that mean Jon Moxley is an idiot? Because he's criticizing WWE? You know, what is wrong with somebody defending the company that they work for?
Yeah, especially after a good show.
and the company that pays him well and has made him their featured star, and put him on in the main event last night. And by the way, I've made this comparison a lot, and every day I'm seeing it more and more. He really is having a Shawn Michaels 1996 run.
Yeah.
Where everything is against that company right now, and he's just like, fuck you, we're doing great.
He's like, I'm going to do my best. We're going to figure this out. I'm here for you. Like that kind of thing. I like him kind of towing the company line a little bit. You can't really defend some of the things that go on in WWE, but at the same time, if he's trying to be part of the solution instead of part of the problem, then when they get something good going on, he should pat him on the back, because that's like, you shouldn't just criticize something. If something good happens, then you give it credit,
Yeah, I like it.
So hopefully you guys do the same. If you like this episode, give us credit.
Yeah.
If you hate it, then leave a comment and I'll delete it. No, I usually keep those out there, unless it's like something horrible, like, oh, I should murder your ass or whatever. Then it's like, yeah, I don't really need that out there, except for maybe for the cops. It's sad. I've kept that before. So, hot tags, yeah, $3.95 in the bag. On $3.95 we talked about 365. I just realized that. It's a shame it's not episode 365. I don't know. I'm rambling. Point being, plug wise, what else you got?
Dude Felice on Twitter and Instagram. Follow me there. Follow me on a train, on a plane, in a boat with a goat. All that good stuff.
Planes, trains, automobiles, TLC.
WrestleZone Daily. Taking your questions every day. 2001 Wrestling Odyssey. Myself and Callum Wiggins go back in time. The year 2001. Check out all those episodes on the podcast feed. And I believe that's it.
Yeah, so stay tuned for the 2001. That'll be happening at some point over the course of the next week or so. And as I mentioned before, mailbag possibly coming up. Round 2 breakdown of the Sexiest WWE Superstars tournament. It's definitely coming up at some point. Fighter Fest is definitely coming up. So predictions and post show for that. And everything else you will find on the YouTube channel, the Anchor, the iTunes, the Spotify, the Twitch, not Twitch, Stitcher, the whatever, all that stuff. You can find that all over the place. But if you go to smarkoutmoment.com, the Twitcher, the Twitter, the Twitch face, the face space, whatever these things are called.
I like the Twitch face.
Yeah, I'd subscribe to Twitch face. Maybe I could actually get my Tony Mango name on there instead of having it somebody who doesn't use the account. But yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening to this, everybody. We are not being counted out. That's what I'm doing my old catchphrases here. Fuck it. This has been another Smart Cow moment, and we are being counted out.